ओम शांति। ओम शांति का ट्रांसलेशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
There's no need to translate the meaning of the word Om Shanti. Everybody has understood it, haven't you?
दीदी और दादी की बहुत वंडरफुल जोड़ी बाबा ने बनाई।
It was a very wonderful combination of Didi and Dadi, which Baba had created.
अव्यक्त होने के बाद
According to the plan of drama, Baba became
दीदी और
Avyakt.
दादी ने
Didi and Dadi,
बाबा के कदम पर कदम रखकर
they kept one step on the footstep
इस
of
यज्ञ
Brahma
का
Baba,
बहुत बड़ा विस्तार किया।
and they've expanded the yajna to such an
साकार में
extent.
बाबा ने जो महावाक्य उच्चारण किए थे,
In the corporeal form, Baba had shared.
दीदी दादी ने उन सब महावाक्यों को प्रैक्टिकल रूप देने में
Didi and Dadi made all of
बहुत
those
अथक मेहनत
aspects
की।
in a practical way by their tireless
इतने
service.
बड़े परिवार को संगठन के एक सूत्र में बांध करके चलाना,
To hold the entire, such a
सुना
huge,
होगा वैसे
unlimited
दुनिया के
family
अंदर
in one thread of love.
जब कोई गुरु चला जाता है
You must have heard in many
तो उसके
places
बाद
when the
उसकी
main head
संस्था,
of
उसके
an
आश्रम कई
organization,
टुकड़ों
in
में बट
any
जाते हैं।
religious faith, pass away,
लेकिन
that
बाबा ने
organization
दादियों
splits
को, इन
into
बहनों
many
को ऐसा
pieces.
चुना
But Baba chose such jewels,
जिन्होंने
these
बहुत
sisters,
प्यार से
who with
सबको
lot of
सम्मान,
love, with lot of
respect
regard
देते हुए
and respect, moved along.
आज यज्ञ को कहां से कहां पहुंचा दिया।
See where the yajna has reached today.
45 साल का इतिहास मेरे पास है।
I have 75
यज्ञ
years
को
of
81
history.
years हुए,
The yajna has completed 81 years.
लेकिन 45 वर्षों से 72 से मुझे मधुबन में रहने का सौभाग्य मिला।
He has been in the Madhuban since
और
1972.
उसमें सबसे पहला मिलन हमारा दीदी से ही हुआ।
And I first met
दीदी
Didi,
मनमोहिनी को
Didi Manmohini.
बाबा ने यज्ञ की इंटरनल कारोबार के लिए निमित्त बनाया
Baba
था।
had made her the instrument for all the transactions,
जैसे बाबा
internal
के साथ
transaction.
मम्मा राइट हैंड बन करके रही।
Just like Mama was the right hand of
65
Brahma Baba
तक
till
मम्मा साकार में थी।
1965,
मातेश्वरी
when Mateshwari, Mother, Mama,
जगदम्बा माँ,
the world mother, Jagadamba Mother,
65 21 जून को इस
on
देह से अव्यक्त
24th
हुई।
June 1965, she became
उस
Avyakta
समय दीदी
from the corporeal
सेवाओं
body.
के
And since
हिसाब से
then,
दिल्ली में रहती थी।
at that time, Didi was living in Delhi
बाबा
for
ने दीदी
service.
को अपने साथ मम्मा की ही चारपाई पर मम्मा के ही कमरे में रखा
So Baba brought Didi back,
और
and
मम्मा की सब जवाबदारियां दीदी को
and
सौंपी।
she used to stay in Mama's room in the same in Mama's
अपने
cot.
साथ
She
हर
gave
प्रकार
Baba
से
gave her
दीदी
all
को
the responsibility
सेवा
of
में
Mama,
सहयोगी बनाया।
and he made her cooperative in all
तो
aspects of
दीदी बाबा
service.
की बहुत लाडली गोपिका थी।
Didi was very loved, beloved
उनका
of
लौकिक में
Baba.
भी नाम गोपी था।
Her Lokik name was Gopi. The word
सुना
Gopi
होगा
means the one
शायद
who is lost
डबल
in the
विदेशी
love
बाबा
of
के बच्चे
Krishna.
गोपियों के चरित्र में इतना नहीं जानते
The double
होंगे,
foreigners might not know so much
लेकिन
about
भारत के
the
अंदर गोप और
history
गोपियों के
of
चरित्र
Gop
बहुत
and
गाए हुए
Gopi.
हैं।
There's a lot of
श्री
epics
कृष्ण के
written
साथ
of Gops and Gopis
गोप और
in
गोपियों
India,
का
in
बहुत
Bharat.
नजदीक का संबंध पार्ट दिखाया
So
गया
they
है।
show in the path of devotion the
यहाँ पर
brothers and
उत्तर प्रदेश
sisters,
के अंदर एक
Gop and
स्थान
Gopi,
है,
who are very loved by Baba.
मथुरा, जहाँ श्री कृष्ण जी का जन्म दिखाते हैं।
So Mathura is a place which is the birthplace of
वहाँ
Krishna.
पर उनके बचपन का एक रूप दिखाते
So
हैं
there, they
कि
show the childhood form of
गाय
Krishna,
चराते थे।
where Krishna
उनकी
was
श्री
rearing
कृष्ण के साथ
the
गाय दिखाई हुई
cows.
हैं।
You know, you usually see
और
Krishna
जब
with
वो
the
गऊ
cows.
चराने के लिए गऊ
And
को
as he's
जंगल में ले
rearing the
जाते थे,
cows in the jungle,
तो
and
उनके
along
पास
with
एक
him,
बांसुरी थी, मुरली।
along with the cow, he used to have a flute. And when he used to play the flute, all the cows would come and stand in front of Krishna, and people would come out of their homes running in front of Krishna to listen to the flute. They were so mesmerized for the murli, which is the flute. And those people were called Gop and Gopis. He's sharing, this is a memorial of the confluence age. At the confluence age, we are all get mesmerized, and we're all fans of the Murli, aren't we? You all love Murli, don't you? If you're understanding, wave your hand. Do you all love the Murli?
Baba, Madhuban, Murli.
Baba, Madhuban and Murli. These are the three things that are important. If you love Baba, you will love Baba's Murli. And if you love Baba's Murli, then you will automatically love Madhuban. If someone says, I love Madhuban, what am I supposed to do with the Murli? Oh, I've heard a lot of Murli. Then Baba would say, no, if you don't like Murli, then you don't love Baba, you don't love Madhuban. Didi was in the form of a Gopika, if you can imagine, who was really a beloved, loved one, who would be lost in Baba's love. As soon as she would say the word Baba, her eyes would get moist in love, because from a very young age, she was married at a very young age in the Lokik. After she got married, she came from a very affluent family in the community of Sindh. Her father-in-law was one of the main person, very famous in that community. And when they got knowledge, the intoxication raised, the topic of purity came. And because of purity, in one go, she decided either here or there. In one go, she let go of the family. And as she left the family, her Lokik mother and her Lokik younger sister, so three people from one family surrendered to the yajna. Didi, Didi's younger sister Sheel Dadi, who was instrumental in Bombay, and her Lokik mother, Queen Mother, she surrendered in Madhuban. You can imagine what kind of a social upheaval would have happened when three people leave their home and surrendered in the yajna. They had to face a lot of problems, a lot of situations. So similarly, three more sisters from the same family surrendered. So altogether 6 people surrendered to the yajna. So it created a lot of upheaval and tension in the community. But the faith that Didi had, that I have found God, I am the true Gopika. Mine is one Baba and none other. On the basis of this faith, she surrendered herself to Baba. In the beginning, Baba had told her to teach, to do tailoring when in the boarding school, so she could teach the young children how to do tailoring in Karachi. So they opened a separate boarding school for Didi, where Didi would teach the young children how to do tailoring. Didi's spirituality, Didi's discipline, Didi's inculcation and maryada brought her very close to Baba. From the beginning, Baba would keep her very close to him as a very close relationship. And when service started in the beginning, Baba had sent her to Delhi, which is the capital of Bharat. And even in Delhi, the first center which opened was Kamalanagar around 52, in 1952 and 1953. She was sent there. Baba gave her the responsibility to hold the center in Delhi. Didi normally did not do conduct a class or murli, because in the Lokik, Didi never saw school. She never went to school and studied. From a very young age, that time the community and the society was in such a way that they would not educate the girls, and they had to be, they had to wear their drapes in front of their face. They could not show their faces. So she never went to school. And when she came and she belonged to Baba, Baba taught her everything. Baba taught her Murli, which she would read. She would read and listen to the Murli with so much attention, but she never shared Murli on stage. She would talk to people about Murli, but she never shared the Murli in the class. She was number one in controlling power. How one should be guided. And Didi's friend was Dadi Janki. They both were very good and close friends. Didi and Didi would always say, Dadi Janki. She would tell Dadi Janki, you have to do a talk on this topic. Any topic that she would pick up from the Murli, she would tell Dadi Janki, you have to do a class on this topic. Churn on this topic and share in the class. So Didi and Dadi Janki were very close friends, and they stayed as close friends. And when Baba brought Didi back in Madhuban and made her the companion in service, he gave her all the controlling power. Brahma Baba would share Murli, meet with the children, but the logistics, what should be cooked today, what about the arrangements of the people who come, what should be their daily routine, what newness should we bring to the children coming, this Didi would take care. With who should be doing the class, when should be yoga, the whole timetable Didi would take care of. So from the time when Baba was there, she was like the right hand and had the whole control over it. When Baba became Avyakta, Baba knew everything. It's not that Brahma Baba suddenly left the body. You all must have heard the story that, Murli, Baba shared the Murli, Baba came to the room. It was the evening of January 18, 1969. And after he completed the Murli, he told to the children 3 words: incorporeal, egoless. The 3 words that Brahma Baba shared. He stood by the gate of the door and Baba said, Chutti means I'm going to take leave. Baba never used this word, going to take leave. And at that time, Dadi Prakashmani was in Bombay and she was called, she was the service station for Dadi Prakashmani was Gamdevi. On 16th January, the group came with Dadi Prakashmani, and all of a sudden Baba told to Dadi Prakashmani, child, send your group back, but you stay back. And she thought to herself, he never stopped me. This is the first time he's saying me, stay back. And exactly for Didi, he said, Didi, go on service. So Baba sent Didi out and he kept Dadi in Madhuban. So there's a lot of secret in this.
18 तारीख को दादी को पूरा ही यज्ञ
18th January, the entire yajna, he showed Dadi Prakashmani, he held her hand in hand and showed every corner of Pandavavan. The training center was under construction. So he told her who is the contractor, where is the material coming from, who is responsible, where is the bandhara, who are the people who are taking care of it, how much stock is there, what is Baba's future plans, to construct Indraprasth, meditation hall, all these things. He walked her around the campus and was sharing all these things to her, was explaining to her, and he introduced her to everyone. Dadi Prakashmani did not understand what was he doing, why was he doing. She never had the thought that he is taking leave from everyone. And in the end, he said, Child, whatever letters have come today, Baba is going to reply to everyone today. So he made Dadi Prakashmani sit with him, and he replied to all the letters. It was 18th of January, and Baba had not shared the Murli in the morning. It was cold and he was having a lot of cough. So actually Dadi Prakashmani said, Baba, take rest. Your health is not well. I will share the Murli. So Baba did not go in the morning to share Murli. And in the evening, he himself told that I have not shared in the morning. So they had to ring a bell, and they rang the bell early. And Baba said, I'm going to share the Murli with the children. First time in the yajna, the Murli class happened at 8:30 p.m. About he shared for half an hour. And then Baba came back to his room. He put his hand on Dadi's hand. And as soon as he did that, he left the body. Dadi didn't even realize what was happening. She was just under the impression Baba is in discomfort. Dadi said, Baba, lie down. Lie down. Because he was sitting. He said, Baba, lie down. And when Baba lied down, the hand became loose. And then Dadi came out and told the brothers, call the doctor. I think he's in a lot of discomfort today. So one brother went in a cycle, and the doctor was far. He went and got the doctor, and the doctor checked his pulse and everything. And he said, I'm really sorry, Dadi. Baba has left the body. How can that be? Baba just shared the Murli. He just met with the children. What happened? How can that be? The doctor said, can't do anything. He has left the body. Dadi, entire night, she called everyone. And whomever she called, nobody would believe. How can that happen? There was no discomfort. He had no issues. How could he leave all of a sudden? So Dadi would say, come to Madhuban. Baba has left the body. He has changed the room. The body is still here. And at that time, Didi was in UP, Uttar Pradesh, and Didi and Dadi had very good, close friendship. All the Dadis reached, Didi, Gulzar Dadi, everyone reached. On 21st January 1969, after the last rites were completed, Bhog was offered, and in the evening, in the body of Dadi Gulzar, Shiv Baba, along with Brahma Baba, Bap Dada, both entered Dadi Gulzar's body for the first time. In that meeting, Baba kept the urn on Dadi and Didi's head and gave the direction that as Baba was nurturing and sustaining children in the corporeal form, and whatever you had to ask, Baba would share that through letters. From now onwards, Didi and Dadi, the combination of both, they will look after the yajna. Whatever you have to ask, whatever clarification you need, any letters that you write, these two people will reply and take care of that. On that day, 21st of January 1969, the entire rights were given to Didi and Dadi. The beauty was they had such unity among themselves that one said, the other one accepted and went along. They sustained the yajna. So we all would say, there are two bodies, but the soul is one. That kind of unity they had. We understand it can't be just one soul, but their thinking and their thoughts were so similar. Sanskars were different, are different, but to have that the harmony of sanskars, there was never a conflict or friction. If Dadi has said it, Didi would say yes. And if Didi said it, Dadi would say yes. They never corrected one another. They actually strengthened the gathering of the sisters. All the Kumaris who are instruments now, who are taking care of big retreat centers, in 1969, the first training was started. Like Shilu Ben, Asha Ben, Chandrika Ben, all the senior sisters, they all got training from the first training center in 1969. They both decided that we have to call them and train them. And they both said, Dadi Janki, give them the training. And the training center was inaugurated, and they had a huge gathering of Kumaris. And then the invitation came that centers have to be opened in foreign lands. And they were wondering, there was no planning. In Baba's time, there was no centers in the abroad, foreign land. Baba would say there are many children who have gone and hidden in different other countries, different religions. They both looked into all of it, and they made a group of 7 people, where Usha Ben, Sheel Dadi, Jagdish Bhai, Nirvair Bhai, Rosie Ben, 7 people. And they sent these 7 people to London with Jayanti Ben. At that time, Jayanti Ben's locking mother, Rajni Ben, was staying in London. Didi Dadi said, go there, stay there, and understand how service can happen in the foreign land. This was the first group which went in 1971-72, around that time, which went to London. They stayed in London. Based in London, they went to different parts of the world, America, Australia, and they served. The base was London. And from there, different service stations were opened or started. All kinds of directions were given by Baba, Avyakt Bab-Dada, through Dadi Gulzar medium. Whatever they had to ask, Didi and Dadi, they never took law in hand. They would always ask Baba. Baba is here, Baba is sitting, ask Baba, and whatever Baba says, we're going to do that. They had such loving relationship with Baba that every second day, every third day, they would call Baba. They would make Gulzar Dadi sit. We didn't have to offer bhog, and just invoke Baba. Sometimes in Baba's room, you have seen the gaddi in Baba's room. They would make Dadi Gulzar Gulzar sit there and invoke Baba. And the Chota hall is nothing but the history hall, and they would invoke Baba. Anytime they wanted a direction to have a construction done, if there is any issues, if there are new service plans, without asking Baba, they never did anything. Though they were the main instruments, they never said that I am the chief or I am the elder one. No, they always said, it's Baba's task, it's Baba who's doing it, let's ask Baba. She would always say, call Baba. And Dadi Gulzar would go into trance. And if Baba didn't come, Dadi Gulzar would get a message from Baba. This is how the administration transferred from Baba to Didi and Dadi, and with a lot of harmony they held the yajna. No one felt that Baba has left. They gave so much love and sustenance. Whatever the routine or the daily routine was of Baba, they continued in the same way. So when I came in 1971, I was 15 years of age. I was in 9th grade in school. I just came to have a tour of Madhuban because everybody in my family was in knowledge. My brother, sister, mother, uncle, aunt. My sister was surrendered and she was staying in Madhuban. And she had come to the village and she said, come, let's go and show you Madhuban. When Brahma Baba was in Sakar, corporeal form, I never went to Madhuban because I was very young and I was in school. So I didn't come to meet the corporeal Brahma Baba. And the first time I came to Madhuban, I stayed for 1 month. It was holidays from school. And in 1 month, I got so much love from Dadis and everyone in Madhuban, all the residents, and they taught me so many things and they made me cooperative in many things. And when I was about to go, Didi had a very good power of discernment. She had #1 power of discernment, and she thought he has the quality of staying in Madhuban. She would discern that this person can go, they can move along in Gyan. She had so much of clear line, yukt. In the end, she told Dadi, Dadi, ask this Kumar who has come. I think he's very suitable for staying in Madhuban. So Dadi called me. And you see the swing in the garden? Have you all seen the swing in the garden? Have you seen? In Pandav Bhavan? There is a swing in the garden in front of Baba's hut. Baba used to sit. Dadi made me sit on that swing along with her. And Dadi asked me 3-4 questions. And the first one was, how many people are staying in your family? How many of them follow this Gyan? How much have you studied? How old are you? Like general questions. And I told her I was 15. I'm in 9th grade. My father and 3 brothers, and I am the only son. So there's farming, a lot of property. And Dadi looked at him and she said, oh, you're not going to get permission from home to come here? And he asked, why? So she said, Father, 3 brothers, and of the 3 brothers, you're the only son, you are the heir. So they won't give you permission. So Raju Bhai said, you give me permission and I will get permission from them. So Dadi said, you're very young, study for another 4 years. So he said, Dadi, there's going to be destruction very soon. You know, Baba used to share in the beginning, now the destruction is going to happen. Dadi smiled and said, you know, distraction will happen. When it happens, have a look at it. But now, study. And Raju Bhai said, I have no interest in studying now. Give me seva and I will do. And Dadi said, listen to me, and 1 year you study. And if you still have the heart of coming to Madhuban, get a letter from your father. And the father had unbroken faith in Baba. He had the faith that God has come and He is constructing this new world. And if my son can be a part of it, why not? The father said, it's a huge fortune. Golden age is being established. And he said, you go and I will also come behind you and I'll also become cooperative. So very easily he wrote a letter of permission. So Raju Bhai completed 1 year of schooling, and in 1972 he completed the exam, the last final paper he finished, and the same day he got onto the train and he came. And Dadi was so surprised. So Dadi, he showed Dadi the letter. You asked me to get the letter, and here is the letter. Dadi was so happy, and she was like wonderstruck. Wow, he has so much faith. So he shared to Dadi that if I get surrendered, he will come behind me and surrender too. And Dadi said, come on, get on to seva. And at that time, everything was karma yoga. There was no aids of science that time. These days, we get a lot of comfort from science. Like we have a washing machine, like a dishwasher, roti maker, we have stove, steam. At that time, such facilities was not there. They used to use wood and charcoal in one big pot. They would get up at 2 o'clock and heat up the water, and they would fill the bucket of water, and they would go to every room and supply. And they would wash the clothes like dobighat, like the laundromat, and they would go and clean everyone's room. They would sweep and mop. They would also help in making roti. Basically, there were just 25-30 people, and they had to do all the services. And if at that time 100 people came in the party, we all had to empty our rooms. We had to sleep outside, and we would give our rooms to the people who had come, because there was no place. Very few rooms was there. Very few buildings were there in Panda Bhavan. There was no facilities, no comfort, but the love and the sustenance of Dadi and Didi was wonderful. If I have done so much of laundry, she would make hot halwa and she would feed me by her hand. So the service return was instantly, the return would come. We never felt anything was lacking. Like a loving family, we got the sustenance. Like a mother and father, they gave sustenance to us. One day, all of a sudden, I said, Dadi, I want to learn typing. I had come from school. So there was only one brother who was typing, and there was only one typewriting machine. These days there's computer. There was only one typewriting machine. And one brother had the seva of typing Murli. And the person who was supposed to type Murli had to know Sindhi. So when I said I want to learn typing, Didi and Dadi had gone for some reason to Bombay. So they both said, well, you learn typing, but first learn Sindhi and then learn typing. It was a big deal for me to learn Sindhi. I only knew Hindi very well. From UP. Dada Vishwaratan, you must have heard their name. Yesterday, is there anyone who has seen Vishwaratan Dada? Vishwaratan Dada, anybody who has seen?
दादा विश्वरतन, वो रतन थे, पक्के रतन बाबा के।
He was a jewel. He was very loved by Baba.
वही पूरा यज्ञ की भाइयों की तरफ से सब कारोबार वो देखते थे।
He would take care of all the activities on the brother's side. He was in charge. He would do all kind of physical seva. And he said, Dada said, oh, you want to learn Sindhi? Come, I will teach you. So every day I would spend 1 hour with Dada. So he taught me to read, to write Sindhi, and also to speak Sindhi. And in 8-10 days, I learned the entire language, to read and write. And then I learned typing of Sindhi. And when Didi Dadi came back from Bombay, Didi said, did you learn typing? I said, Haan Didi. And did you learn Sindhi? Haan Didi. Yes, I learned. Didi's Sindhi was wonderful because she never went to school. So she would write in her own style. Many times she would not understand what she wrote. So she gave me her diary and she said, read. I couldn't even read a line of what Didi had written because her writing was so different. She would use, like she would write in shortcuts, like an acronyms like BD. So BD was Bab Dada, L and N is Lakshmi and Narayan. So A was for answer, Q was for question. So there were a lot of shorthands in Sindhi, and she would mix Sindhi, Hindi, English. So I was disheartened, Didi, I can't understand this. So she said, what did you learn then? So Didi said, don't get scared, don't worry. There's one more Dadi, Kamal Mani Dadi. She is still there, she's in Delhi. So she said, she can understand my diary very well and she will teach you Sindhi. And I was very young, so I would go to any Dadi's room without any hesitation. And I went to her room and, Dadi, I want to understand this Didi's handwriting, can you teach me? So Kamal Mani Dadi, with a lot of love, she taught me how to read. And whatever letters came to Didi, because Didi was in charge after Baba, there's a kind of posting email that comes, it's called an... it used to be like a carbon copy in one page. So in the first page they would type, and in the bottom portion there would be an empty space where they would handwrite. So what he would do, he would keep 4 or 5 carbon copies and type. And he would type from Didi's diary, because she had a very good discipline of having question and answers from the Murli. Dadi would read the Murli. Didi would sit right in front of Dadi in the first chair in Pandav Bhavan History Hall with a lot of attention. As soon as Dadi finished the Murli, and immediately Didi would say, I am going to fail everyone. Didi would pick up a lot of weird questions from the Murli. So let's play badminton. I am going to throw the ball and let me see who's going to catch it. So whoever would answer, she would say, they will get double toli. And those who failed, I'm going to stop their toli. So for half an hour, the entire Murli would be revised. Without Murli revision, nobody stepped out of the Murli class. And those who failed, they had to be punished. And the punish was, no toli today, you will get toli tomorrow. So there was a lot of entertainment. She was serene, but at the same time very entertaining. She would take us to picnic. There was not an expansion of seva. There was only in Bharat mainly. Now there is no time, free time. And that time we had lots of time. Sometime we would go to Nakki Lake for picnic, Peace Park, Guru Shikhar. We didn't own Peace Park, but we used to go to that spot and be there. We would go and play there. There was just one vehicle, and the name was, and it would get repaired. No, they had to push. They had to push, so it was called the pushing vehicle. They had only one vehicle, and half of the way sometimes it would break down, so they had to push, and they continue. They say a small family is a happy family. In the small family, there was a natural happiness, cheerfulness. We couldn't miss one single day Murli or Amrit Vela. If anyone missed by mistake, they had to come in front of Didi and Dadi and answer. Because they had an eye on everyone. Because Didi would sit on the gatti and conduct yoga. She would get ready by 4 in the morning and sit on the gatti. And she would notice who did not come. And after the Murli, she would ring the bell. And she would say, call so-and-so. Because he knew that I missed the Murli or I missed the yoga. So he had to report. She made everyone firm in and strong in discipline. What is the difference between a laborer and a child? What's the difference between the two? The one who labors get an income, but an heir, they do seva, but they don't get an income. If I just do seva, service, it is like getting food. You're getting food, you're getting clothing, you're getting housing. You shouldn't be a white-dressed laborer. No, shouldn't be that. You should be studying. The basis of the Golden Age kingdom is study. So that's why she would make it firm in them. Murli and yoga are the basis. Do yoga and Murli class along with your service. Keep attention on your daily timetable. If somebody is weak, if they do not have attention on the study, on no attention on the yoga, who can think about others, look into others, do not get into their company. If you get into their company, you will sink. She would be very straightforward and she would say everything to us. See, with a lot of love. They would argue with her, Didi, it's the outside company which is bad. I'm in a good company here, aren't we? She said, yes, even amongst the good company is one who has attention on the study, yoga and inculcation. If the attention on inculcation is not there, if they have any other kind of gossip or conversation, that company is bad. So protect yourself from that kind of company. Didi never believed if someone said something about someone. Imagine if we were working among and we kind of notice someone's weakness, and if I go and complain to Didi and Dadi the weakness of so-and-so, if they were breaking the discipline of so-and-so, if I go and complain, she would say, come and sit next to me. She would listen to the complaint and say, come and sit next to me. And she would say, she would call another person and say, go and call the other person. Whoever they complained on, they would be called. The person who complained and the person who was complained about, both would be there face to face and they would talk. So because if the person is coming from a space of jealousy, hatred, the person who complained would get into fear. So she would clear it right there and then. Okay, if such a thing happened, okay, that's fine, it's over. Do not get a complaint again. She would give teachings to both of them and to both of them. And she would give toli in each other's hand. They would exchange toli and hug each other. There should not be any friction. We shouldn't see anyone's weakness, defense. It's a family. And small things do happen. Do not care for them. If you do one complaint, the other person is going to complain 100 things or 10 things. So do not get complaints. A lot of good discipline of Didi. She paid a lot of attention to each and everything. With a lot of zeal and enthusiasm, she gave us sustenance. She would come up with a lot of new plans for service. 11 years I had the fortune of taking her sustenance from 72 to 1983. I would sit with Didi and answer the questions and letters. She taught me everything. I had just passed out of school. I stayed with Didi. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever I spent time with her every day. She used to teach me how to answer the questions. And as I moved along, I got the service of seva of doing the Murli. From 1976, whatever Avyakt Murli has been shared from 1976, sometimes the entire night Baba would share the Murli. Many times Baba came at 6:30 in the evening, and in the morning 7:30 he would stay. 13 hours, 12 hours. And Baba would come and speak to each one individually, personally. Baba would give them blessings. Everything I was responsible for typing. Whatever Baba said, I had to sit the entire night and type. I would also not go out of that room. I could get up and stand. I could stand and sit, but Baba sat in one place. I would keep seeing Baba, and whatever he shared, I was writing. We didn't have a recording system that time. Computers have come later. So the entire night I would write in a paper, in a diary. I'll share one incident. One day Baba gave a direction after Didi left the body. And share a little how Didi became Avyakt.
बाबा का एक नया बात जो वरदानों की शुरुआत हुई उसके विषय में आपको बताता हूँ. कोई को मालूम होगा.
I will share how the blessing started in the Murli.
88 में
in 1988,
मार्च के अंदर
the month of March, Baba gave a direction. Baba wanted to meet personally with the Madhuban Nivasis, the residents of Madhuban. It was in the evening when Baba was invoked. We were about 120 people in Madhuban. And about 40 sisters and 120 brothers, within 200 people. 6:30 Baba came, shared a little bit of Murli, and Didi and Dadi went back to the rooms on service. And Baba started meeting the brothers of Madhuban. He must have started 7:30. And morning 7 o'clock was my turn. And there were only 120 brothers. And we all met the entire night. Baba filled us with so much blessings. And when Dadi realized that Baba is just meeting the brothers, so Dadi called Raju Bhai and said, "What did Baba do? When will the sisters get a chance? What did Baba do the entire night?" So he said, "Dadi, the brothers have not yet completed." What did Baba say? So it came out of my mouth that Baba gave us blessings the entire night. So Dadi said, "Go type all the blessings and get it to me." And when I typed, I had written by hand, I went and typed all the blessings. It became a big, thick, fat book of blessings. So Dadi asked me, "What will you do with these blessings?" Dadi, so whoever got the blessings, I will give it to them personally. They can put it under their photograph and they will remember that this blessing came to me. So Dadi said, "That's it? You alone have received the blessing?" Dadi said, "No. Every child of Baba should receive these blessings. Set it in such a way below the Murli that each child, entire Brahmin family should receive it as a blessing." Set it like that. So Baba never used the word bhav, which means you are. No, may you be the word which comes in the Murli.
First line जो होती है, तो मैंने फिर कहा, "ठीक है दादी, मैं वरदान का रूप बनाता हूँ."
So he kind of, the word is manipulation, but it's not actually. He set it in such a way that it becomes a blessing, like you are. I couldn't write much below the Murli. I could just write 3 or 4 lines.
तो वो 120 वरदान मैंने 365 दिन
So
तक चलाए.
120 blessings, I expanded that for 360 days.
पहली लाइन बनाई है.
The first line which comes is I have written on my own. The explanation below that is verbatim from Baba.
मैंने बोला, "बाबा के वरदान तो पूरे हो गए."
And after 360 days, I told Dadi, "The blessings are finished." So Dadi said, "Oh, this is such a good nourishment for the children. Continue this." So he said, "Well, this is what Baba said, and I've used all of them. You do whatever you can." Baba has been sharing from 1969. It's not just now that Baba started to share. So go back and create as many blessings as possible. So this was the seva I got. For 6 years, not a single blessing was repeated. It was new blessings, new blessings. I studied every Murli, and from each Murli I would create 6, 10 blessings. And those are the ones which you get on the Murli. So those are the versions of Avyakt Baba, and even the slogans have come from the Murli itself. This is from 1988. And Didi became Avyakt in 1983. It's 12 o'clock, but I'll take 10 more minutes of yours.
Didi ko koi bimari nahi thi.
Didi had no physical disability or condition. One day, as soon as she came for Amrit Vela for yoga, she felt dizzy in the bathroom. And as she felt dizzy, she hit the wall. So a little bit of blood came out of her forehead. And that day Didi did not come to facilitate yoga. And they all started to think she never missed a day to do yoga. What happened? And when we met Didi and we saw, she shared, I felt dizzy and I got hurt. So everybody thought maybe she's getting old, she's 70 plus now. Maybe the eye is becoming weak.
चश्मा की जरूरत होगी,
maybe she would need spectacles, so we should get her eyes
तो
checked.
दीदी को आंख की चेकिंग कराने के लिए बॉम्बे भेजा गया।
So we sent her to Bombay to get her eyes
और
checked.
बॉम्बे में जब डॉक्टर्स ने दीदी को चेक किया,
And when the doctors checked her eye,
नहीं दिख रही है,
the doctor said there's nothing wrong in her eye,
छोटी सी गांठ है,
but just above her eye there is a little mass. And I think if we operate that mass, she would be fine and her dizziness will also stop. Didi loved the residents of Madhuban and also Baba. So Baba also said, child, yes child, no problem, get your operation done. That operation which happened, she went into coma. A coma which she never came back. 19 days she was in coma in the hospital and she left the body there.
अब शरीर छोड़ा तो आप समझ सकते हो ब्राह्मणों का इतना प्यार, इतना स्नेह,
when somebody who was loved so much, who was sustaining us, nurturing us, left us, you can think how we all must have felt. So Dadi Janki was instrumental to get her body back to Madhuban. So doctors were not allowing us to get her body when she was in coma. Dadi Janki, with a lot of effort, got her body back to Madhuban. And after the rites, the final rites, we offered bhog and we invoked Baba. And we asked Baba, what should we do next? How do we move along next? Baba came and Baba said, children are having a lot of thoughts that it's the mistake of the physician. But child, there is no mistakes of God or no mistake of Bhagwati. So Bhagwan is God, Bhagwati is the name of the doctor. So Baba said, it's neither the mistake of the God, neither the mistake of Bhagwati. It was the seva, service that the child had to go into advanced party. She was the beloved of all of you, so was she the beloved of Bap Dada. And then he looked at Dadi Janki and she would be the joint secretary, I think. And Chandramani Dadi as well. But Dadi Janki cannot come to India now. She has to stay in the foreign land and hold the service there. So they were on stage and Baba told in the entire class, so who will be cooperative with Badi Dadi? So Chandramani Dadi came from Punjab, Manohar Dadi also came from Punjab, Dadi Ratan Mohini Dadi came. So Baba said, all of you give your cooperation to Dadi ji and help her. Though Dadi Janki is the next head, she will stay in London and she'll take care of the activities over there. After Didi left the body, Om Shanti Bhavan was almost complete. She left the body in July. There was a huge transformation in the yajna. All our activities were physical. There was a lot of expansion in service in foreign land and also in Bharat. So the steam came in, the food was cooked in steam, there was running water, they didn't have to carry the buckets. So the laundromat was converted into washing machines. So a lot of physical service took a transformation. Till 83, with our own hands, we have built the buildings. We never called any laborers or constructor. All Madhuban residents. After 83, a lot of transformation in the yajna. Laborers came, the children expanded, the service expanded, resources came, and see today where the yajna is. In 2007, Dadi Prakashmani became Avyakt. Didi, for the past 1 month, she had this one slogan, now is the time that I want to go home. I want to go home now. If anybody came with complaints, she would say, leave. Now is the time to go home. Go beyond. She would be detached. She was detached from everything for the past 1 month. 1 month effort. She reached the stage of karmatit. Some reason has to be there to leave the body, but her effort was internally to become karmatit. From February onwards in 1983, the quality of her yoga, her intoxication, in the 2-3 months, she became complete. She became karmatit.
Dadi
left the corporeal body, Dadi Prakashmani, in 2007, which is 10 years from now.
दादी के अंदर भी बहुत बाबा के प्रति प्यार था.
Dadi also had a lot of love for Dadi.
क्योंकि दीदी के बाद दादी के समीप बहुत बैठने का, सेवा में साथ देने का मुझे भाग्य मिला.
After Didi left the body, I got to spend a lot of time with Dadi because all the replies for the letters, all that responsibility came on me. I had to type the Murli, extract question and answer, blessing. I had to leave all the other physical seva and I had to focus on Murli department. We started the Patra Pushp, the blessing, slogan, question answer, everything came on my shoulders. All the letters that came to the yajna, I had to be reply. I had to spend the entire day with Dadi, ask her for direction. So I had a very close relationship with Dadi. For everything, Dadi would ask, what happened? How did you reply? She would check as well. So I had a very close relationship with Dadi and Didi. And I learned a lot from Didi. And Dadi, 25th of August, she became Avyakt. Before she became Avyakt, I was in London in July. In 2007, I was sitting with Dadi Janki and the phone came from Nirvair Bhai that Dadi Ji's condition is very serious. We're trying to take her to Ahmedabad. Dadi Janki said, can I come to Madhuban? So Nirvair Bhai said, wait, it's not a hurry. I will check with the doctor once again in Ahmedabad. And Dadi Janki said to Raju Bhai, you leave. I had completed my tour of London and USA. And I came back to Madhuban on 21st of July. And the doctors had replied that nothing can be done. And when Dadi was leaving the body, we all were sitting or standing and taking drishti from Dadi. And the soul flew away. When after 5-7 minutes all the machines failed, Dadi Ji came back and the machine started again. So for a moment there was a wave that Dadi left, and immediately after 5-7 minutes there was another wave. Dadi came. Baba explained the secret. She stayed for 5-10 minutes. She gave drishti and she left. When Dadi Gulzar went to Baba, Baba said, it was Dadi's wish. She wanted to stay for some more time and do service. And Baba said, yes, child, go. And when she came down, she realized the body is of no use. So she came back, she stayed for 5 minutes and she went back. So it's a very unique and a wonderful part of Didi and Dadi. They kept the entire gathering in the thread of unity. They gave us the feeling of Baba and the yajna. This is how I have spent the fortune of doing seva with Didi and Dadi.